Hi everyone, Mike White here. Welcome to this week's vlog post. Beginning of September, beginning of the transitional month from 2/3 of the year to 3/4 of the year complete. We talked a lot about that last week and the things that we need to be doing or should be doing to get ourselves prepared for a big effort going into the fourth quarter, as well as the things that we should be doing and thinking about putting together for our business plan that we're going to do in October. As I go through these things, I wanted to share because I get a lot of good feedback from you when I do these, and the talk from the street segments where I talk about what loan officers are doing and how they're succeeding and what they're trying. And this week was a particularly strong week with people providing feedback. And so we have a couple of success stories I wanted to share, and hopefully that'll motivate you to get into the website and look at the strategies again and pick one out and make the attempt to go do it. Because again, we're approaching the fall. There's a lot of good strategies in there that we do every year in the fall that generate benefits. So I just want to go into this and share with you that these things cost little to no money. They just require your time and some effort and tools that you probably already have available to you. So let's start out by talking about a couple that I work with who are managers who have loan officers, and they were looking to expand their business, both personally, but from a branch level. And they went out and they decided they were going to adopt the small bank and credit union strategy and start running a bank route. And what that is increasing their opportunities from small banks and credit unions. You pick 10 such locations within 5 or 10 miles of your home or your office, whatever your starting point is going to be, in each direction, north, south, east, west. You plot them out and you just go and visit and talk to the manager or talk to the mortgage loan officer in there and share some experience about what you can do that they can't do, the types of things they can do that you can't do, and see if you can't develop a relationship. And so you go out there and you start building relationships that way by running the route. It usually takes less than an hour or two, one day a week to execute. And if you're visiting for, if you're using the 4 directions at 10 units each, you're actually getting out in front of 40 banks and credit unions, excuse me, 40 banks and credit unions every month. Should start seeing benefits. And again, you don't need everybody to start referring you. You just need a few opportunities to start building that relationship and developing a good stream of business. As this would happen to turn out, they went out and they were in the middle of their route. I believe it was the second or third time that they were heading in this direction, and they ran into a bank manager who was explaining to them that the bank itself was going to conclude its mortgage operations. It wasn't going to do loans anymore, and they've decided it wasn't worth it for them to go ahead and do that. So they were going to actually shut that down. They were in their last month of accepting loans, and once that pipeline had run its course, they were going to be done completely. And this particular group of professionals managed the mortgage opportunities for a number of branches for this particular bank, who was, relatively strong in the area, and they did about 35 million or so in production annually. And so what happened is when they talked to them about that, the manager even said, he had no idea where these people were going at that point. They were still working on their pipelines, but arranged an introduction. And after a meeting with the team of professionals that was in the mortgage department, the loan officers and the assistant and the person that they had underwriting the loans, they found themselves to be a great fit, that there were loan products there that were fairly basic, and that they had loan products. My managers had loan products and availability to programs that they didn't. They were very excited, and it was really just a matter of setting up an office space for these people to move the location. It turned out to be, again, about 35 million in production, picked up potentially more because they weren't going to have turnaways. And the managers of the banks that they were servicing were thrilled that these people all had jobs, that they were going to stay together, and were very content to go out there and continue to send them business and be happy that they found a new home. So again, wasn't the intention to find a whole group of people. It was an intention to build some relationships. They succeeded in those relationships, and there was a happy bonus. And there's no telling what they'll be able to produce outside the branch, outside the bank branch stream, now that they have new products and availability of programs to help better serve their clients. The other strategy that I want to share, and again, one of my personal favorites, that what I call the gift that keeps on giving, are the birthday calls. I have an originator who has really taken this birthday call situation to a whole level beyond anything that I could think of, and has pretty much tripled his business over the last few years by putting this together, because the result of putting this together was not only staying in touch with his clients by making a birthday call to them every year, but it helped him drill down, organize his database, put it in a usable format, and help him stay consistent with the message. And he knew that if he made those birthday calls and did his annual reviews, because he had that information now, it was literally a few minutes every day to make those calls, but it was at least twice a year that he was going to stay in front of people between birthday calls and annual reviews. And on the birthday call piece, he was actually really happy. It made him happy to make those calls. People were generally pleased when he did speak to them. And in the last few weeks, he shared with me the fact that, again, just when you think you don't have a bigger success story than, a steady stream of business and maintaining a database, he shared with me that he was making his birthday calls. He said in the last 2-3 weeks, he probably made 50 calls to his clients for birthdays, had 8 extended conversations with people that he was speaking to about the birthday calls, and generated 4 transactions for more than $1 million worth of loan production. And again, if you take a look at the 2-3 hours that he spent making those phone calls and having those conversations, for a result for him, based upon his loan size and his commission structure, was going to generate about $15,000 in commission income. It worked out to better than $300 an hour to be making those birthday calls. And again, the birthday calls alone not only keep you connected to your database, but also that top of the mind awareness, we know, helps those people refer you, or reminds them to refer you when the opportunities come up that their friends and their neighbors or relatives have an opportunity or a need for a loan. And so I think, again, the plans work if you worked, and the strategies are there, the tools are there for you to use. And I hope you do, because many of the things that we talk about cost you absolutely zero in dollars. You're not having to pay for software. You're not having to pay for leads. You're not having to do any of these things. Most of the tools that you need are already at your disposal, or are quickly able to be put together using software that you already have, or even using antiquated methods like pen and paper and logbooks if necessary. But the point of the matter is, these things can happen, and they can make a big difference. So as always, if any of these strategies you'd like to go deeper in, or other strategies you'd like to talk about, everything's in the website. Or as always, it's Mike at imtcoaching.com. And we look forward to speaking to you again next week. Take care.